Hello there, my friends. Welcome to Careers Without 4 Years. I'm Melanie Dunn. I'm a workforce development professional, and this podcast is for anyone who wants to find out where the opportunity is in today's job market for great careers that don't require 4-year degrees. The economy has changed. Today, most jobs don't require bachelor's degrees. We'll hear from professionals in technology, healthcare, the trades, and other industries who love what they do and make a good living at it. In addition, we'll learn how to shop for affordable training, how to pay for it with grants and loans without excessive costs or debt, or even find free training. And if you are a woman or person of color, please listen in for inspiring stories by people who are thriving in careers you may not have seen yourself in. There are currently 900,000 open jobs in the trades. Tradesmen and women are in such high demand, their wages often surpass those with higher degrees. And instead of paying tuition and taking on debt, employers will pay you while you learn a trade. So it's a shame that the trades are often stigmatized or are poorly understood and thus overlooked as paths to prosperous wages and rewarding careers. There's almost no career education in most U.S. schools. So in the 1990s, when many schools closed shop classes, the trades lost their voice. Back then, when we thought about America's burgeoning information economy, we didn't see that though technology might spur innovation and change ways we function on the job, many jobs would not be eliminated. We would still need people to build and repair America. My guest today is Roger Wakefield, lead AP, principal and owner of Texas Green Plumbing. Roger is an expert plumber with 40 years of experience. In recent years, he has become something of a social media influencer who is promoting careers in the trades as no one else before him. His popular YouTube channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. His newest project is the Trades Academy, offering mini courses including how to choose the best trade for you, how to attain excellence in your work, as well as how to go into business for yourself and succeed. In this episode, you will learn how a sense of mastery, excellence, and camaraderie makes careers in the trades more rewarding than some white-collar jobs, how the ability to listen, show up, and apply yourself will help you develop a successful and lucrative profession, and why you will be earning more money than many college grads. Here's the interview. So, Roger Wakefield, I feel so lucky to have you on the show today. You have become a major media influencer in the trades. Roger has amazing social media out there, including a wonderful YouTube channel that covers careers in the trades, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Roger, can you tell us how you got into the trades? What was your path?
I actually got in, I was in high school, and I quit high school the middle of my junior year, and I was managing a fast food restaurant, a hamburger place. And one of my best friends was working with me there, and it was real slow one night, and him and I were talking, and he looked at me and he said, "Is this what you're going to do forever?" And I looked at him, I said, "Man, I'm 16 years old. I'm managing a restaurant. You know, life is good." And he looked at me and he said, "So what's going to happen if you get fired or you quit?" He said, "Who's going to hire a 16-year-old restaurant manager?" And that just it struck me as funny. But from that point, we talked about his 3 older brothers and his father that were all plumbers. And he talked about how much they enjoyed what they did, that they loved their work, they made good money, and they were always busy. So it wasn't much longer that I either quit or got fired. And I ended up getting into the trades that summer. I called one of his brothers to see if he could help me get a job. So I went to work with him, and the rest of what would have been my junior year and that summer, I did plumbing and I loved it. But one thing I realized is I did need to go back to high school. I did need to graduate no matter what career I was going to do. So I went back. I was far enough ahead when I quit school that I was able to graduate with my class. And I got right back into plumbing. And I love it. I'm so happy that I talked to him that night. And the funny thing is, he went off to college, came back home, and opened his own plumbing company too. So it stuck with him and his entire family. And all his brothers are like brothers to me. So it was a great introduction to the trades. And I am so grateful that it happened.
Yeah, so already you're a young man and he's talking to you about something that's so important in today's job market, which is resilience.
The neat thing is, this is the 80s. I mean, it was actually 1980, Melanie. The thing I remember most about that conversation, one of the comments that he made, he said, remember, robots will never be able to do plumbing. And this is 40 years ago that we're talking about that. Now, here it is 40 years later, we're still talking about robots being able to do a lot of things, but plumbing is pretty much not one of them. So that was a great conversation then. But I'm so glad that I got into it when I did, because I learned from some great people. And with my career path, I started out open shop. I joined the union later, and I'm non-union now, but I've done residential, I've done commercial, I've done service, I've done new construction. I've done just a little bit about everything in the plumbing industry. And it's been really good for me. I think that's been great for my knowledge along the way.
Yeah, I see that you have about every certification I can imagine out there, including the green certification of LEED. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a lead AP, and lead is actually leadership and energy and environmental design. And I did that because of a big mechanical contractor I was working for, God, almost 12, 13 years ago now. And we were building a bunch of green buildings. And I was the quality control manager. So I was the one put over the lead certification, the verifications to make sure we were doing things right. And I remember walking into one of the vice presidents of the company one day, and I said, look, I want to become a lead AP. And he just started laughing at me. He said, Roger, he said, that's not for plumbers. I said, well, I thought anybody could be. And he said, well, anybody can. He said, but that is actually a nationwide certification for architects and engineers. It's a test designed by architects and engineers. And it's not something a plumber can pass. And I looked at him, I said, man, look, I really want to do this. And he said, Roger, he said, I've got 3 engineers that cannot pass this test. They've taken it multiple times. I went ahead and I'm very persuasive. So I kept talking to him and he finally let me do it. And luckily for me, I passed the first time. So that's what I'm really excited about.
That's got to be a difficult exam. I mean, I'm certified at the level below that, the associate's level. And I took a look at that book and it was terrifying.
Oh, and I tell everybody the first time I opened it up, I felt sick at my stomach because I felt like I was reading Russian or something. None of it made any sense to me. Me being a plumber, I understood plumber, understood HVAC, understood some electrical because I've had people that worked with me or under me. So I had to know a little bit about multiple infinities like that. But reading that book, whenever I first opened it up, it scared me to death. And I thought, oh my gosh, what did I get into?
You are a brave and talented soul.
I don't feel so alone then.
I mean, green building is just so fascinating to me.
And it is. And when you study this book and you look at everything that goes into a building, where it sits, is it undisturbed earth that it sits on? Is there a bus stop nearby? How many times does it stop at that bus stop? What is the public transportation like? How close are churches and schools and things like this? There's so many different things involved in it that as a plumber, you would never think about, even as to which way the building is orientated to the path of the sun. And different things like that. It's just, wow, this is stuff that I never thought of. But then I had to get pretty familiar with it in order to pass the test.
Well, one of the reasons to talk to someone like you, for me, wanting to share this with people that are curious about careers in the trades, is to understand how how much all the trades relate to the physical foundation of all our lives, and how it's a real chance to make a difference in how we're living our lives, the quality of our lives, and also, the quality of work that you get to do, which in the information age, where we work a lot with computers and we work a lot with, software, and we work a lot digitally, we've missed the connection that we need with the physical environment, and also the rewards of actually working in that environment.
I think we have. I think for so many years we pointed kids in high school to college and told them if they didn't go to college, they wouldn't amount to anything. And I think that is so sad, because I know so many people in the trades that make a great living, that have a wonderful income, support their families very well, put their kids through college, whatever they want to do. And it's not just plumbing, it's all the trades: electrical, HVAC, concrete, roofing. There's so many trades out there that people can get into different ways. And it's really very easy to get into if you know the right way to go about it. But the way that I look at trades and why it's so important to us is, number one, with so many people retiring and less people getting in every year, we're creating a supply and demand issue. There's going to be less tradespeople in the future, and the demand is going to be higher, so they're going to be making more money. But the problem is, the trades are what build America and repair America. Meaning, if there's a bridge problem, they call a concrete guy to come out and work on it. A structure person to come out and build the framing for it, to form it, to pour concrete. If it's a new house or a new building, you've got plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, concrete, glazers, carpet, flooring, ceiling, so many different trades that have to get in here and work together. But they build and repair America. So if there's less people in the future doing that, the cost is going to be so much higher for everyone else that it's going to make it where it's going to be harder for people to afford to buy homes and apartments and office buildings and anything that they need, even the roads. I mean, everything that we do is built by tradesmen. It's repaired by tradesmen. And if the supply and demand is so bad that there's not enough people out there, people are going to be hiring underqualified people to come make repairs and do things. And that could actually lead to poor health, death, a lot of different things.
Yeah, I worked in construction management for a few years, and I can say that's very true. It is a practice sometimes to hire people that are not qualified, and it is a risk. Definitely. I have seen that. Let me ask you, you have a really broad understanding of all the careers in the trades. Can you kind of step us through the maybe 6 trades that come to mind that offer career paths?
Well, the good thing is they all offer career paths. There is literally, if you want to go union, there are unions out there that cover each trade. If you want to stay open shop, literally somebody can drive through a neighborhood that's building new homes. If they want to be a framer, stop and talk to the carpenters and say, hey, I would like to talk to you about coming to work for you. What do I have to do? Every trade hires helpers, apprentices, entry-level positions. Whether it's open shop or union, it doesn't matter. They both do it. Now, one thing that I teach is that when you want to get into a trade, first of all, figure out where do you want to get in at? And what I mean is, do you want to do service or new construction? Do you want to do commercial or residential? Do you want to be union or non-union? And we all have our different mindsets as to what we want to do and how we want to do it. So if I was talking to someone about residential or commercial, I'd ask them, do you want to go work on people's individual houses? Or do you want to go work on maybe a 40, 50-story office tower? And some people say, oh my God, I could never get that high off the ground. It would just scare me to death. Okay, then you probably want to do residential. Then I asked them, do you like fixing things or do you like building things? Some people just love building things from scratch, from nothing. Some people love coming in and looking at problems and fixing it. So if you can get somebody into the trades in the right position, I think it's a huge start. Now, the different trades, of course, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and roofing are probably the four biggest. But then you've got the carpenters, you've got glazers, you've got flooring and ceiling people. There's so many different trades involved. And I mean, we didn't even mention, concrete, site work. You've got heavy equipment operators that have to make sure the job site is level and built per the civil drawings so that the water flows right away from the buildings. There's so many different things involved with the trades that a lot of people don't even think of. And most of these you can get into in an entry-level position, and in 5 years, you can make $100,000 a year if you want to.
So obviously, folks, this is a wonderful opportunity for someone who feels that they want to make a good living, they want to attain mastery in their work, they want to influence the physical environment in some way. And I don't see college debt mentioned here either.
It's just the opposite, Melanie. If a person goes to, let's say they go through an apprentice training program, and I know that just because I've looked at those numbers recently. Someone going through an apprentice training program, a 5-year program, can make somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 in those 5 years.
Wow.
So think about that. If you go to if you go to college, you could spend that much, but let's just say you did the average and you spent $75,000 to $100,000 to go to college for a 4-year school. And I don't know, have you done the numbers lately? Do you know what it costs for the average college tuition for 4 years?
Yeah, at a 4-year public institution, that cost today in 2021 is $26,000 a year. That includes tuition fees and living expenses. But most people don't graduate in 4 years. It's more like 6 years. And that leaves out the issue of the high dropout rate as well. So why do you think there's such a lack of information about careers in the trades?
I don't think it's lack of information. I think it's disinformation. I believe that our counselors, our principals, our teachers, our parents have told kids for so long now, if you don't go to college, you're not going to amount to anything. And we've said that story over and over again so many times that people believe it. And to me, that's such a sad thing because there's no truth in that whatsoever. It takes white collar, but it also takes blue collar. If there are not, and I mean, look around right now, last time I checked, there were 900,000 unfilled construction trades positions. And I wonder why we've got an unemployment rate.
I think that there does need to be better career education, and certainly to the point where people can question whether an academic degree is really all that. I remember a guy who came to fix the air conditioner in my apartment once, and he was working part-time, and he said, I love what I do. And he said, actually, I have a master's degree and I don't like my day job. He said, all I do is input data into a computer. But when I get to fix something, change something, it's so satisfying for me. About 10 years ago, a guy named Michael Crawford wrote this book, Shopcraft as Soulcraft. And he was a motorcycle mechanic and also a professor of philosophy. And he really looked at what the trades offer as opposed to what's happening, say, in a white-collar environment. And what he pointed out was that the trades offer this really empowering sense of personal agency in the work. a sense they could constantly get better at something. There was constant variety in all the activities they had, and a constant and growing sense of mastery.
So think about that office person sitting behind the desk. They're pretty much doing the same thing day after day after day. As a residential service plumber, we have 365 different days a year. It may be a water heater today. It may be a slab leak tomorrow. It may be a remote leak detection system the next day. There's so many different things, and even if they're the same, each one is different. Every water heater install is not the same. So we have such a wonderful, challenging day each and every day. And I mean, I've got to tell you, I've done this for 40 years, and I still love doing what I do. I still get excited about talking about it. And to know that there's less and less people getting into the trades, unfortunately, I think because of what they've been told about it, to me, it's really sad because there's such a wonderful living there, and it is so rewarding. And I hate to see us take that away from people. And that's why I'm doing what I do. My thing is, if people will discover their passion, and it's part about what I talk about in the beginning, it's what trade do you want to be in? And some people may say, oh my gosh, if I ever touch poop in my life, I would freak out. Okay, you probably don't want to be a service plumber. Some people,
or a parent.
Or a parent, exactly. Yeah, and it's really funny because in one of my videos the other day, I stated that same thing, and one of the guys made a comment in there. He says, once you become a parent, poop never bothers you. And I thought that was so true. But I mean, think about it. If people can discover their passion, I don't like electricity. I hate getting shocked. So electricity, probably I would not have been near as passionate about, or I'd have been really good at it because I'd make sure no matter what I do, I'm never going to get shocked. But if people can discover something that they enjoy doing, and, unfortunately, we've taken the shop classes out of high schools and even out of middle schools. When I was in middle school, I had a woodworking class. I had a metalworking class. And then when I was in high school, I took another woodworking class that I really did enjoy. We've taken that away. And we used to teach people how to use power tools, how to use tape measures, how to wear PPE, wear safety glasses, gloves, things to protect themselves. And we've taken all that away because, kids aren't going to do that. They're going to go to college. Every one of them are going to go to college. And it's making it harder to get people into the trades now. At least me, I knew how to use power tools. I knew how to use a tape measure. I could walk onto a construction site and say, look, this doesn't scare me. I know how to read a tape measure. I know how to use a hand tool. And we've kind of taken that away. So I think it's put more kids in a situation. And I say kids, I mean, I've seen apprentices as old as 55 years old. But we see more people thinking, I can't do that. I know nothing about it. Well, the neat thing is, I didn't know anything about plumbing when I got into it either. Knew nothing at all about it. But I went on and became a pretty good plumber.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people do lack any sort of orientation to using physical tools in the environment. You might use digital tools. But one thing that is transferable with a lot of people are good soft skills. I have never met a group of people who knew how to get along with other people who were so much fun to work with, may I say, than in the trades.
The soft skills are amazing because if you're, say, a commercial tradesperson, say you're a commercial plumber, you've got to work with other trades. So communication with them, understanding body language, understanding emotional intelligence, understanding how to communicate to get things done that you need done. If you just walk into an area and there's other people there and you tell them, hey, I need y'all to get out of here, I'm here to work, it's probably not going to go very good. But if you walk up and say, hey guys, look, man, I really got to get this line in today. How long are y'all going to be here? What have y'all got going on? Is there anything else that y'all could do to let me in here ahead of y'all? you'd be surprised how often that really does happen and it works. So learning how to communicate is such a big deal. But, the other skills, listening is one of the biggest things that we're not teaching kids in school. We teach them to write. We teach them to read. We teach them to talk. We do not teach them to listen. Most kids are listening, thinking about their reply automatically. And one thing I try to teach my people is listen to repeat. Meaning, if you tell me something, I need to be able to say, okay, Melanie, what I heard you say is that the soft skills really aren't what they're being taught. Well, here's why I think that. And it lets you know, wow, he really is listening to what I say. And if you do that as a residential service plumber and you talk to your customers, the homeowners that way, they understand you are really listening to them. You're not just coming in saying, hey, lady, look, I know what your problem is. I got it. Don't worry about it, yada, yada, yada. You're actually listening. What are their problems? What is their why? Why do they want this fixed? Why do they need this fixed now? What have they tried in the past? You develop a communication with them. You develop a relationship with them. And these people will be your customers forever. And if we can teach people that, it changes the world. Look, we work hard. And when I say hard, I don't necessarily mean that it's always a physical, grinding, wear you down kind of job. But we work hard. We want to meet schedules. We want to get things done. We want to be productive, not just busy. We want to be productive. And it's a prideful thing. I remember when I first got in the union, they had me roughing in a bathroom. And on the other end of the floor was a union plumber who'd been in the union for years, and he was roughing in the bathroom on the other end. Now, he had a head start. He had already been there the day before and got stuff laid out and all this. And I wanted nothing more than to put it in faster than him. And that is the kind of thing that you get in the trades. You get people that are, look, man, I love you like a brother, but I want to be a better plumber than you. I want to work harder than you. I want to outperform you. And there's always that little competitiveness going on, which I think is amazing. It's another human thing that it makes you feel good to compete and to do good and to win. I think 8th place trophies kind of hurt a lot of people along the way because people want perfection real quick. And I have people send me messages all the time saying, look, if I get into plumbing right now, how long will it be before I can open my own company? And it's like, why don't you think about getting in and learning to be a great plumber first? And they're not worried about that. Just how long before I can open my own company? And I'm like, you know what? Let's get you to be a great apprentice, then be a great plumber, become a really, really great journeyman, become a great master, become somebody that can teach the apprentices below you. Because when you get to this point and you can master the skill, you can master the communications, you learn how to spend your money financially wise. You don't just blow your money. Sad thing is a lot of trades people make great money, but they don't have any because they've never been taught how to budget their money. They've never been taught finances. We don't teach that. Even if you go to the union or open shop, they teach you how to put pipe together. They teach you how to pull wire and hook up switches. I want to teach people how to be great. And in order to do that, you don't just look at how soon can I open my own company. You look at, let's go through the steps first. Let's go from this great step to this great step. And then once you get that, let's go to the next one. Yeah, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Thanks for listening. For more information on today's episode and a link to Roger's YouTube channel and mini courses, please visit us on Instagram or on our Facebook page at Careers Without 4 Years. Take care.